The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Greetings from the Netherrealm, Wolfpack. It's DC Showcase time once again. Which obscure DC character is the entertainment biz trying to push out this time? Why, none other than Death of the Endless. That's right, DC has graduated from trying to promote the likes of Green Arrow, Shazam, Catwoman, and Sergeant Rock to attempting their own spin on the Grim Reaper. Yep, we're going to see the DC Universe's interpretation of the Angel of Death. A happy day for all us horror fans. Now, I will admit that I know very little about this DC character whatsoever, so this mini-cartoon will be my first experience with the Grim Reaper ever in DC animation. In fact, this is the first and only film debut of this character at all so far. We actually have a DC Showcase short film fully utilizing a true noteworthy yet obscure superhero for the very first time, and attempting to introduce them to mainstream audiences around the world. Neat, right? This showcase is attached to the recent Wonder Woman Bloodlines movie, which was alright overall, but it made huge heaps of money since everyone seriously bought this film only so they could get their paws on the DC showcase connected to it. For realsies, Death is quite a popular character among comic fans, and the fact that the Grim Reaper got a short film excited us so much that we all bought a Wonder Woman filler movie just to see this creation brought to life on the big screen. Death is that admired. The character, that is, not the tragedy. So I used my brilliant critic skills to study more about this legendary icon and learn why Death was so big. Evidently, Death is one of the popular supporting protagonists from the epic Sandman comics, created by award-winning writer Neil Gaiman. Gaiman! Yeah, get it all out of your system, you dumb 5-year-olds. Neil Gaiman is a phenomenal dark horror fantasy author who has earned numerous awards for his incredible works, many of which are supernatural novels of the written and graphic variety. You'll probably recognize him as the creator of such hits like The Sandman, Stardust, Coraline, American Gods, The Graveyard Book, and who could forget his all-star classic, The Troll Twins of Underbridge Academy, as advertised on The Simpsons. So I guess you could say he's kind of a big deal. Probably. I will say that I enjoy his work immensely, since he really knows how to bring the supernatural to life, and even his comics demonstrate a deep work of art, no matter how strange they inevitably become. However, I still know next to nothing about his Sandman universe, which the Death character spawned from, so we're going into this plot partially blind. It's up to the DC Animation Studio to give us a good first impression of this character, if we ever want to like them more. But did they do a good job at it? Did this DC Showcase segment provide our mysterious omen of darkness the endless respect the character deserves? Or should it be hidden away in the shadows, forgotten, buried by the sands of time? Well, that's what we plan to find out. So write out your wills and complete your unfinished business, because we're going to have an encounter with Doom itself. This is our wacky review on the underrated DC Showcase, Death. So, our tale of whimsical yet grim tragedy opens up with a cute little boy drawing out some pictures of a cute little angel. Aww! This adorable little scamp is Vincent, a once innocent aspiring artist who soon grows up to be a cynical, depressed loner, now saddened from his harsh adult life. Starting us out on a fun note, huh, DC? Adult Vincent is played by Leonardo Nam, best known for playing Felix from Westworld, which we don't watch, so don't expect any clips from it. Vincent fits very well into the tragic character role due to seeing how his once optimistic life has gotten less fun as he's grown up, and we get to know more and more about him as the plot continues on. But I will say that the short film does do a good job with his story arc and making him super sympathetic, as we'll all see soon enough. Sadly, Vincent soon gets in trouble with his nasty jerk boss, Curly Howard.
What did you say?
Curly Howard.
Oh, thanks, Puck.
Curly Howard gets pissed off at Vincent's slow work progress, so he fires the guy for taking too long at painting a mile-long fence. Is that really a fireable offense? He gets laid off for taking his time repainting huge fences? Considering that we find out this place is Gotham, it's not the worst excuse to fire someone here. Vincent mouths off to Curly for being a dick and soon storms off, where we see that he was working at Arkham Asylum. Maybe his boss did him a favor kicking him out of this hellhole. Vincent goes off to where else? The Sad Sack Bar, to drown his sorrows in pints of cheap booze and angst. But as he slips into Soul Crush mode, Vincent begins seeing and hearing ghosts from the past.
At least he has a wife and kids. What have you got, Vincent? No money, no job. A life wasted chasing dreams that are always just beyond your reach.
Oh hey, I didn't know Blight was in this. Actually, we find out that these spooky, scary ghosts he keeps on seeing throughout the short are really dark hallucinations from Vincent's unstable mind. These spirit people are really Vincent's inner demons. They're those dark voices in his head whispering to him that he's worthless, a loser who never amounted to anything and never will. Saying that his life is meaningless. He has no family, no job, no friends, and his dreams were hampered to the max. A regular Jesse Cardiff, but haunted by wicked spirits. The heat blast forms they take on are really a metaphor for both how ugly these thoughts are and how they symbolically represent Vincent's inner demons slowly destroying his life. I quite like this aspect, since it grants a ton of deeper character for Vincent. Plus, as we see later on, these inner demons take on the forms of negative people from Vince's past. These were people who once talked down to the guy long ago, made a bad memory or three for him, and essentially made Vincent's depression only grow further. We see that the Flameboy Demons are in fact his former jerk boss Curly Howard, his snooty dick art teacher who told him that he sucked at drawing, his emotionally distant, equally loser of a father who was unhappy with both his life and his son's life choices, and even his ex-wife who had a bad breakup with him. All these characters held significant roles in the guy's life, affected him in some way, and honestly make Vincent a more relatable tragic victim that you do care about. They're not random ghosts, they're a memory. I also love how they don't really make the real-life versions of these people just straight-up villains. The real-world people Vincent held negative memories of are basically normal people with toxic relationships with the poor guy, and didn't have any deliberate villainous intentions. Not to mention, it wasn't just one traumatic event that turned him into a mentally unstable, depressed soul. It took multiple tragic circumstances from different events that made him slip down the slippery slope. In many bad stories I know, it almost always had one or two bad situations that ruined a life. But this short story shows that Vincent had an entire life's worth of low points, making you really care about the guy and feel for him as a person who lost his way. Not some annoying angsty emo teen. Great character writing, I will say. So yeah, Vincent is well developed, and these shape-shifting fire demons are literally his seething inner demons, constantly putting him down, burning away his sanity. Effectively acting as the antagonists for him, with a strong man versus self style of conflict. He tries to silence these visions, but they won't go away. So now's a good time for a smoke break. But as he lights one up, he then encounters this ominous, sexy goth lady who tries reaching out to the bro.
Those girls will kill you.
That's the way to my problem.
Shitty gay, huh?
Oh boy, hot mysterious goth ladies. This story just got a whole lot better.
I would so do her. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
This mysterious hot goth lady plays a prominent role in this short too, alongside Vincent, but we'll get to see her importance later, since we don't want to ruin the big twist yet. Hot Goth Lady is voiced by Chung, who is best known for playing anime icon Chi-Chi on Dragon Ball Evolution. She was also in the hit Adam Sandler comedy, Grown Ups. She also starred in the great Zack Snyder action film, Sucker Punch. She also played Vicky Vale's relative, Valerie Vale, on Gotham, for the love triangle arc between Commissioner Gordon and Dr. Leslie. And she also played the beloved Disney princess Mulan on Once Upon a Time. You don't like Once Upon a Time? Ah! No, I don't. I hate them. I hate the show with all my heart because they dared to exclude Princess Pocahontas from the series. How could they deny Pocahontas from joining the epic cinematic princess crossover? Pocahontas is the best Disney princess. I'll kill them all. So yeah, Chung doesn't exactly have a winning streak when it comes to her hit roles. The only good thing I found her starring in was the Big Hero 6 franchise as Go-Go Tomago? Whoever the hell that is, but I will confess that I do think she's pretty great in this. I honestly think this might be her best performance since she does very well at playing a nice yet ambiguous goth girl with a strange aura surrounding her. She does come across as a kind soul with a flair for the macabre, like most fan-favorite Gaiman characters. So much like Mr. Nam, she's real lovable as well. Vincent thinks so too, since he takes an instant liking to Hot Goth Lady and tries to wow her with his life story, where he reveals that he's a down-on-his-luck artist who wants to make it big as a successful painter selling his artwork across the world. But alas, life took its toll on him, and he struggles to find people who encourage his big dreams. Ah, we've all been there. We too would love nothing more than some support for our own art. Wait a sec. A struggling poor artist suffering from depression named Vincent, whose great artwork goes unappreciated? Oh, I get it. This guy is based off of Michelangelo. The mysterious hot goth lady takes an interest in Vincent and tries comforting him with mere kindness. Aww. But I also love how even she points out the story tropes for us.
Let me guess. Struggling artist? Couldn't have picked a more lucrative cliche.
Hot goth lady would be great at cinema sins. Unsurprisingly, Vince is attracted to nice goth lady, but the voices in his head keep putting him down, foiling his chances of getting laid. Diabolical. However, nice goth lady still respects him, gifting him a cool Zatanna top hat before departing ominously, as she states that she'll see him around. But that still doesn't stop poor Vincent's trauma from growing, along with his scary visions. To his credit, he does try to confront and overcome these mental illnesses himself, but he struggles to win. This is where we get those flashbacks exposing the inner demons as people who affected his life and made Vincent feel bad. Again, I do enjoy these segments greatly, since they really feel like Silent Hill stuff. You know, every time I say that something is like Silent Hill, you all should consider that as my greatest compliment, since I love Silent Hill, and this DC showcase is definitely at Silent Hill's level. It's awesome. Toy Train feels like totally Silent Hill, but The Walking Dead Michonne is so un-Silent Hill. Speaking of which, Vincent has Silent Hill nightmares of being talked down by his snooty art teacher, who is a genuine dick.
If I were you, I'd abandon art entirely and seek out a profession that's more practical. Gotham University has an excellent dental school.
Jeez, this guy is worse than the teacher on the Ghastly Grinner. Hope he didn't drown Vincent's artwork in the fish tank. Oh, by the way, he also tries walking off the insanity, where he passes by the Monarch Theater. Wait, Monarch Theater? Why does that sound so familiar?
Don't have to do this.
Oh yeah, good times. But back to the dream sequences, we then see his strained relationship with his equally loser failure father crumbling, and even his breakup with his ex-wife, all while Vincent is reflecting on his mistakes in the present day. Now, while the flashbacks with the jerk teacher and jerk father are the typical putting the hero down scenes, I think the one with his ex-wife is the most super effective, since she doesn't chew him out or end things on horrible terms with Vincent. She honestly has an adult conversation with our protagonist. She tells off Vincent for not being the same man she once loved, where he used to be so innocent and kind-hearted, like his childhood self. But when his life started hitting some bumps in the road, Vincent changed. He became this sad, bitter loner who we know today, and it's what ultimately ruined his last relationship with his loving, supportive wife. Yeah, they don't try to make her a jerk like the other guys. She just left him because he was the one who started to become worse. There's no blame, no screaming, no cliches, just two adults maturely cutting ties forever, asking themselves what went wrong. It really says a lot when the story reveals that the main character also played a part in his own downfall, rather than placing all blame on other people. These flashbacks hurt you right in the feels because Vincent is just as much at fault for his bleak downfall too, because he allowed all the hardships to get to him, and he refused to confront it when it hit the fan. It's pretty depressing, but also grounded in a shockingly relatable reality that the viewers can understand. The fact that he's been trying to work things out at his low point also makes you care for him too, since he does want to become better, and he admits that he regrets his screw-ups in life.
But I can't watch you wreck yourself like this.
Then go! And when my artwork's selling for millions and when the whole damn world knows who I am, don't come crawling back!
I miss the man you used to be.
I know. I've got, well, I guess you'd call it emotions.
So yeah, Vincent did take everything what these people said to heart, and they have affected his mind. The voices in his head grew into ugly inner demons haunting him, increasing his severe depression, and he fears that he can't be strong enough to conquer them. Real relatable drama. I like it, but I won't love it until we get to the climax. Vincent comes to grips with the fact that he played a part in his own downfall into depression, poverty, and rock bottom, but he hears some truth in the inner demons' whispers. He lives with regret and misses that pure, childlike innocence he once had, but now all that he has left is his pain. See, he's symbolically surrounded by his inner demons taunting him. But enough of that drama, because he wakes up to a jump scare car crash where he spots some angry strangers screaming at hot goth lady. Oh no! But he grows a pair and defends her by calling them out, threatening to call the cops. But once he gets down there, everything has bizarrely calmed down, and goth lady is okay now. That's odd. Wonder what's going on.
I guess it's a mystery.
But when Goth Lady thanks her hero for caring for her, we get this long, awkward pause.
You, didn't call the police, did you?
No, I don't even have a phone.
Well, I appreciate it anyway.
Uh... What the heck was up with that scene? She flirts with him, he acts shy, then they creepily stare at each other for a while? Huh? What's the purpose? Was DC just showing off their epic animation? Was this a charming scene? Do they love each other? What?
No data available.
So, after their staring contest, Goth Lady asks to come inside so she can see all his great artwork. He does so, but those evil demons pop up again where they keep cock-blocking him. Those bastards. They truly are the worst evil of all. Fortunately, Hot Goth Lady likes his artwork and inquires more about his backstory, where Vincent finally opens up emotionally and expresses his lack of confidence. It's a truly nice scene where Vincent finally admits his shyness and lack of self-worth while Hot Goth Lady listens to him and gives him great advice. Gotta love goth gals. At last, they both put it together that Vincent is unhappy with his life since reality took its toll on his confidence. He just needs a spark of happiness to refuel his love for drawing art again, because a happy worker is a good worker. Inspired by her kindness, Vincent then asks if he can draw her for one of his new portraits, while also dropping this heavy foreshadowing.
I see something in you. Beauty with an incredible sadness beneath it. So young. And somehow so very old.
Well, gee, I wonder which of these characters is the Grim Reaper. Yeah, if it hasn't been obvious, well, this cartoon kind of plays around with which of these characters is secretly the Grim Reaper in a big mystery. We're teased that Death could be Vincent, or it could be the Hot Goth Lady. Vincent does have the most focus in the story. We get a large backstory for him. He's depressed, he's always in darkness, and he sees visions of ghosts. So he could be mistaken for Death to all of us who are unfamiliar with the actual comic character. However, ominous goth lady could also be Death, since she dresses like a goth, acts mysterious, possesses great wisdom beyond her years, is noticed in many strange scenes herself, and has some throwaway moments that could be foreshadowing to something greater. I love this aspect a lot as well, since it plays around with the viewer's expectations a lot, and does it well. Comic fans can enjoy all the moments with the character who they already know is Death, while non-Sandman fans like myself can be surprised by the mystery. Since the short does an outstanding job ping-ponging around which one is the true embodiment of Death. This showcase is also part mystery, which is really entertaining because it adds a layer of fun. Both characters are also unique enough in their own way and have their own decent character traits, so you end up caring about both overall, not just one over the other. I believe the which one is Death mystery was a nice touch to the story, since even upon rewatching it multiple times, I appreciated it more and more for the effort put into it. It's got the best of all worlds. But yeah, that one line kind of gave a lot away. But it's okay, because we're nearing the endgame now. Hot Goth Lady poses for the mad artist as we get this art montage where Vincent draws his waifu as he finally ignores the voices in his head telling him he sucks, regains his lost confidence in his abilities, and literally slays his inner demons. Yep, him drawing again shows us that he's rediscovered his lost self-worth, and he metaphorically overcomes his emotional pain by ridding himself of the bad thoughts in his mind, killing those dark inner demons once and for all. As cheesy as it is, this montage is pretty badass. I enjoy it a lot. Vince finally finishes his magnum opus and is happy again for the first time in years. Aw, that's nice. But then we get to our twist ending. Our protagonist sees that time has stood still, as shown through this awesome art here. DC's animation has really improved over the decades. But wait, if time is standing still, then that means... Of course, the Goth Lady is a time wizard! Okay, the Hot Goth Lady is actually revealed to be none other than... Yep, she's the Grim Reaper, and she really came here so she could collect his soul. Wow, so Goth Lady was Death? I'm so shocked.
I see something in you. Beauty with an incredible sadness beneath it. So young. And somehow so very old.
Yep, mystery solved. The Goth Lady was Death, and she's been hanging out in Gotham City because it's the worst death zone in the world, so she had a lot of work to catch up on. So this whole time, the living embodiment of death itself is really a hot goth girl with a heart of gold who emotionally supports lost souls into getting their crap together? You know, I can totally get behind that. She's really awesome. Seriously, I love this character so much, and this is legit the first time I've even heard of her. This DC Showcase short did such a fantastic job at making this lady lovable and interesting, and isn't that the greatest thing you could say about this whole concept? That it made an obscure DC character awesome in the eyes of even non-Sandman fans? Lady Death is really cool. Now, for those of you wondering how close she is to her actual comic counterpart, well, from what I can tell, it's perfectly on the money. This short film doesn't give us a whole lot of detail about this woman's background, but she does fit the personality, and is acting in a story where she's staying well in character. These DC showcases are mainly side missions with the obscure characters in them. We're seeing what the daily life of this character is like in the DC universe, and how they would operate, while also getting interest from the newbie fans who know nothing about said character or their journeys. Death is honestly just as mysterious in her comic form too, since her life story is often downplayed or hinted at, with very little given away all at once. However, she is pretty much represented faithfully in this cartoon, since even in the comics, she functioned as a passionate beacon of hope for those at her door, and unlike the other Endless members, such as Destiny or Destruction, she was the most noble hero in Gaiman's universe. All the showcases really need to do is demonstrate that they're in character when on these side adventures. So this showcase does do a grand job at making you like her and giving you a taste sample of her persona, which I'd call a mission success. I do love that this is a Grim Reaper of love, passion, and wisdom who helps the souls complete their unfinished business and conquer their inner pain. That's much more compelling than the usual evil Grim Reaper who just murders people and tosses their souls into the afterlife without any care. She's definitely superior than most Grim Reapers I know.
Can't make me. I don't make monkeys. I train them. Holy crap. I'm sorry. Did that hurt? No. But this will. You bastard!
But let's wrap this up. She reveals that Vincent died after finishing up his last painting, all thanks to those stupid cigars.
Looks like the cigarettes finally got you.
Bet you didn't expect an anti-smoking message in this horror story, but there you go. Death actually froze time to help him close his final chapter, eased his emotional torment, and finally complete one last painting before his time is up. Aw, that's nice. But uh-oh, the apartment burns down in the fastest spreading cigarette fire you will ever see, torching everything our main character ever had. Oh dang! Why is Death so cruel?
How can you be so cruel? How can you do this to me?
I'm not doing anything, Vincent. The end of your story is written in the book of destiny.
Oh right, because Destiny says so. You know, I'm starting to understand why Sandman fans hate Destiny the most. Vincent begs Death to have mercy and at least spare the only good painting he has left, but in a pretty heartwarming twist scene, she reveals that she already has. Death is the sort who shows compassion for the mere mortals of the universe, and sometimes bends the laws of reality to grant last respects to the souls she takes away. She's just cool like that. You see, Death gave our now sane artist a gift through this. She reveals that she used her divine powers to help him come to terms with himself, and saved his last work of art ahead of time. Also showing us that she was the angel he idolized the whole time. For those of you who don't know, this is a kind of inside reference over how Death also works as a harbinger of life in the comics too. She didn't just kill people and take their souls. Sometimes she is there to bring life into the world as well, mastery of all existence and that jazz. A nice call forward to Sandman fans, but I think the short more or less also uses this to hint that she's a guardian angel towards people too. Since she aided Vincent in his time of need, and shows that she was always there watching him. She was there in his beginning, and now she's here for him in the end. Finally happy with his life and accepting the end, Vincent then transforms into his childhood innocence and happily embraces Death, where she escorts the lost soul to heaven. Kind of like Grandpa's glasses, but with a hot goth lady. And yeah, it's fantastic.
Shall we go then? Into the mystery.
Aw, that's so sweet! That's so sweet! Isn't that sweet? That's so sweet!
I know. I've got, well, I guess you'd call it emotions.
Also, how funny is it that this is now the second emotional horror story we've seen featuring Death coming for a tragic soul named Vincent and ending his tale of woes on a surprise touching ending. No matter what topic we discuss, Wolf Entertainment will always circle back to the haunting hour.
Always.
But it's still not over yet, because we then cut to the Gotham Fire Department, clearing out the whole mess. Wait, shouldn't you guys all be away in some tedious side mission? Oh right, different continuity. But as they clear the apartment complex, where somehow Vincent was the only one who died, they see that yep, everything burned, except for one thing. The magic painting that the Spirit Duo made, meaning that Vincent's short legacy will live on. Fun trivia note, the portrait of Death here is how she actually looked like in the Sandman comics. Real cute, DC. And that's the true end of this tale of bittersweet fantasy. We also get even more comic book poses of Death in the end credits, showing us more images of her from Gaiman's sketchbook. Real nice. I might screen save those. Anywho, that was the conclusion of the fan favorite DC showcase, Death. What do I think of it? It was pretty dang beautiful. This might, in all honesty, be the absolute greatest S-rank badass seal of approval DC showcase I have ever seen. Holy smokes, this was phenomenal. There are no words. I loved every minute of this short film, since it had such deep storytelling, such subtle themes, relatable drama, likable main characters, unsettling psychological mind-screw horror, mature lessons, gorgeous animation, trippy scenes, thought-provoking symbolism, and best of all, a kind, heartwarming atmosphere, showing us that there's hope, even under the most bleak of environments. Lady Death is awesome, and to think, this was all thanks to the brilliance of one great genius.
And the most brilliant part is, I don't even know how to read.
I thought it was one of the greatest DC products in a long time. One of the best horror tales ever. The fact that it came from the DC showcases astounds me even more. Heck, even my sibling Wolf liked it. I even remember our first reactions.
I would so do her. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, but after we finished fantasizing, we agreed it was super cute. While Vincent is certainly a good main character who the audience can feel for, and while I do love his deep character arc of overcoming depression, it's Death who really elevates this short to new heights. I thoroughly enjoy the Grim Reaper being a gentle soul, acting as a beacon of hope not to be feared, but rather to be a coming of acceptance kind of deal. Death really cares for those she looms over. It's not just a job or a demonic skull being savage. She shows concern for helping those afraid of coming to grips with the end of their life. She helps others let it out emotionally, helps them wrap up their loose ends, makes folks feel better before departing this world, and does so out of the sheer kindness of her heart. That's amazing! So many idiots keep trying to push the strong, independent woman image for the ladies everywhere, but this woman is a true hero who's a million times better than them. A compassionate voice in the dark, gently aiding lost souls in a time of need with nothing but kind words and hope out of the pure goodness of her heart? That's a true heroic lady right there. She's much better than frickin' Captain Marvel and annoying as hell Harley Sin. I want to know more about this woman. She's a true hero to look up to. But I digress. This showcase is awesome. Everything in it is awesome. A lot of my subs tell me that this showcase is the Grandpa's Glasses of DC, but I disagree. No, it's the Grandpa's Glasses, the Funhouse, Scarecrow, and Flight of DC stories. It has that much power under its cloak. It goes against the usual death is a force to be reckoned with and feared tropes by making the Grim Reaper a kind soul who teaches others that death should be seen as a part of life. It's sad, but it's not scary. I know for a fact that the Grim Reaper being a reasonable authority figure is nothing that new, but I do enjoy stories that show how death is not a horrible thing all the time, since it does happen and you should be ready for it. However, DC demonstrates how death can be a deep emotional phase that we shouldn't dread, but rather accept. We should take the time to reflect on all the good times of our past and pay tribute to the great tasks we've accomplished. Your life matters, no matter what situation or who you are, and you can do great things as long as you don't let the tough obstacles get to you. Even Vincent, at his lowest point, accomplished something great before his time. That is truly beautiful.
Wow. Goosebumps, man. I got 'em. All the R.L. Stein books.
DC Showcase Death has a lot of powerful whimsical elements to it. There's honestly nothing bad I can say about it. But if you really want me to nitpick, some of the references to Gotham City might be a bit unrequired. The short wants to show us that Vincent's life is so tough and depressing that having it take place in the same area where Batman lives just felt a tad unnecessary because it's unimportant. Mainly because the short does a good enough job showing us Vincent's already troubled life with the greater flashback scenes. But whatever, that's just me splitting hairs. This story is otherwise flawless. I felt depressed, happy, sad, scared, amazed, and even heartwarming thanks to this short tale's impressive escapades. So, I suppose you can say I enjoyed it a little. Death is definitely a great showcase that outclasses all that came before it. It shows us that even during the darkest times of our life, there will always be a light in the shadows. So, I grant this DC showcase a gold icon and a perfect score, 10 out of 10. Oh yeah, it's that good. It's Catwoman good. I loved Death that much. The character, not the action, Pinky.
So,
I highly recommend this one because it will give you not only a nice DC story, but a deep trip into the realm of insanity that also shows us the bright side trying to break through. I think it's enchanting. It's got the usual great animation, a significant narrative, complex main characters, cool symbolism, effective emotional moments, unsettling horror, excellent character development, a gray atmosphere, hard-hitting feels, touching scenes, and best of all, does a thoroughly outstanding job at bringing death to life. Yeah, I know it's an oxymoron, but you get the point. So, for the Sandman fans wondering if she was handled well by DC Studios, the answer is a big ol' hell yeah, with some extra bonus points for relatable human drama. Go and watch it now. It's excelente. While some people might be disappointed for the lack of Sandman lore or odd mysterious angles of the plot, Death definitely delivers a super great mini-adventure. Neil Gaiman didn't write this story, but his inspiration clearly left its fingerprints all over it. This was made by folks who care about this character. It's such a great experience with so much quality content to love, showing us all that this work of art truly achieves its endless glory. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your catty host, Catastrophe, and I just want to ask DC, when are we getting that Sandman movie?